pre-engineered homes could be the biggest solution potentially to housing affordability, we may say. Rick, I'm joined with Rick Boivin, who is our pre-engineered home expert. I want to say you're very humble, so you might not say that, but we've got about 5 minutes to discuss pre-engineered homes. One of the questions I had for you was around the ability to make these as cheap as possible. Why are they able to be cheaper? You brought up something interesting in your first segment around time
Yes.
and how time is a factor in making these things cheaper. Can you just elaborate on that for about 30 seconds here?
In the manufacturing of this process
That's
or in the
correct, as well as
building?
even just in the development side, on the loan side of things, paying less interest over
Yeah.
a certain amount of
So
time.
we'll talk. So time again is another one of these things because we're in a crisis. It's because we've had a shortfall for a long period of time. So we're playing catch up. So if we're playing catch up, we'll have to look at product solutions which are going to catch up for the time we've lost. So if we can produce a product that gets the process quicker, we're solving that as time. If we're giving the builder the tools to build larger volumes or meet more inventory to get into market, then he has less borrowing costs because he's able to produce the product much quicker. He has the same resources. So, in essence, to those things, we want to solve time as an issue on multiple levels. If we can do that, then it's better for everyone that's involved. I guess
Right.
maybe not the bank. The longer you draw it out, it's more
Hey, we don't
interest.
we don't need banks to absolutely love
Right.
it, but I
So
mean, at the end of the
exactly.
day, they care about affordability because they'll find a way to make money
Well,
elsewhere. It's new products,
we're
right?
giving them a tool to have more people coming in the door that can actually attain the mortgage that they want
That's what
to
I'm
actually
saying.
get out the door.
It balances
It balances
it may
itself
balance
out.
out.
Yeah.
One of what I felt important to touch on about was, I mean, I drawn the comparison of wartime housing. Sean
Mhm.
Fraser came out last year, 2024, in November, doing an announcement saying, we're bringing wartime housing back. Here's a booklet. And he was flipping through the booklet.
Yep.
I'm not sure exactly where that's at today, but wartime housing was something. It's pre-approved homes that can be built and must be rushed by municipalities. How does that differ to pre-engineered homes? And where can we see on Ontario or any province for that matter approve these things faster? How can they expedite the approval of pre-engineered homes?
Well, the problem I think with that, and I may have the wording wrong, but he's mixed. There's a mix between saying that actually was a pre-engineered home in wartime homes.
Mm.
So having a booklet of pre-approved designs is that pre-approved traditionally built designs because that doesn't do anything but just say we're going to try and fast track because we've
The
vetted.
approval process.
That's we've just we're approving the vetting process because we don't need to look at it as long as you pick from the
Mm,
catalog. But a pre-engineered home now is no different than what a wartime home was. To understand construction of a wartime home, it was actually sections of walls that were bolted together and they were fixed constraints, which meant that the dimensioning, it's why a wartime home is exactly 25 feet by 25 feet, because it was consistent. That's what we're doing with our pre-engineered steel homes. We want them to be non-combustible, so they're much more friendly in environments like the fires that we're seeing out in
mhm.
Manitoba and out west. Um, so we're going to have that. Insurance is going to be a huge factor on that,
But
right?
what can the province, we have about a minute and a half
Yep.
here. What can the province do to expedite this? What can provinces do? Because they do have a lot of control in this field.
Uh, I think what it is that we really, when we look at governance, I think governance needs to be pliable when we talk about zoning, permits, and all of these things. The problem is a lot of that is based on policy. Policy is usually based on something that didn't go well in the past. Therefore, we make a rule now that you must
So
comply.
should they make like a policy that says pre-engineered homes need to
Actually, I
be?
think that policy should be pliable because the problem what we have now is innovation doesn't match policy.
Mm,
So when we have something innovative, it's already it's fighting what policy of the past is. So what we're doing is we're not giving local municipalities or provincial governments the tools to be pliable with new merging ideas. So
be flexible with innovation. Okay, we got about a minute here. Some of the bottlenecks. I just about 30 seconds. What is maybe some of the bottlenecks of pre-engineered homes, just for people to be aware of, and what needs to, how we can fix that in the future?
Um, well, I would say that some of the bottlenecks, it's not necessarily that it's a bottleneck because we can scale
Right.
to a large capacity. So it solves a particular type of problem, which is where I'm motivated. It's the heart of the person who's looking for like an individual piece of standalone home. It's an idea that we all know when we drive through neighborhoods. But we still have a problem, which is, say, housing on volumes for different levels. So there still is a need for apartment buildings. There still are a need for mid-rise and different things. and then we have infrastructure in cities. So there's room for everything. It's just we have to be careful that our one item is sold
Right.
as a solution for all things.
Rick, with that, I thank you so much for joining me. Thank you very much.
Thanks for
Thank you.
being here.
And with that, we'll end off with this. Do not simply accept what you are told. Challenge your thinking, engage in differences, and listen to new perspectives. Have a great night.